Hey folks, welcome back to SupeRonpoNatural, the show where I recap and review every single episode of Supernatural. No cute baby this time, sorry, just my cute little face. I'll keep the preamble briefer than last time, but I gotta say, you guys killed it last video. I said 500 views thinking it would take like a couple weeks or a month if it ever happened, and it happened in less than a week. So as promised, I'm back with another video. And now when this one hits 750 views, I'll start working on the next one. But that shouldn't be too hard because the last one's at 1100 already, so thank you, again, really good job. The number of likes is a little low, so please like and subscribe, but I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. Anywho, enough of that, let's hop into Season 1, Episode 16, Shadow. We're in Chicago, Illinois. We see a girl walking down the street. She bumps into a dude. This happens all the time in media, but I've pretty much never had this happen in real life. Is this just happening all over the place in the US? Maybe we Canadians are too polite? Like, if this happened, we would both be saying sorry. She keeps walking. Her headphones stop working. Which is probably for the best, because if you're a woman walking alone at night and you're in an area where dudes just bump into you for no reason and keep walking, you should probably have an ear out for danger, especially if you're on Supernatural. But then she hears a whisper, and there's random wind, and she keeps walking. She's getting scared. She starts running. She fumbles for her keys. She gets inside. She gets into her apartment and sets her security system. Suddenly, everything's fine. She grabs a beer. We learn her name's Meredith. The ghost! What hijinks will it get up to? Oh, damn, she did. 1 week later, we see the boys, dressed up as alarm technicians. Also, Sam's hair is all different. I don't like it. Dean talks about how he had to do credit card fraud to make the costumes. And I gotta say, if you're having custom-made costumes done, and you're undercover, and one of you's supposed to be dead, maybe don't use your real names on the costumes.
Silly.
Just maybe. The landlady or super or whatever says she found the chick's body a few days after she was killed. She disses their alarm company because it didn't go off despite this woman being attacked and torn to pieces. EMF is picking up some readings. Dean, who's looking pretty great, starts waxing poetic about the cop lady he was hitting up, but eventually reveals that Meredith's heart was missing. Theory time! Not a werewolf, wrong lunar cycle. Dean connects the blood spatter into a symbol neither of them has seen before. Except this part's kind of dumb because you could have made any symbol from that blood spatter. He arbitrarily chose some of them to draw tape lines on, but you could have made so many different shapes, but whatever, we're moving on.
Silly.
They go to a bar. Dean's flirting with the bartender with incredible cleavage. Gotta get my wife that shirt.
Woody.
Anyway, Dean got nothing from her except her number. Sam can't find anything in their dad's journal or any books. But they did learn that there was a victim before Meredith, but they don't know of any connection between them. Sam sees something. Also, his hair is suddenly better. We learn that what he saw was Meg, who we learned was a demon back in the Scarecrow episode, but Sam doesn't know that yet. I mean, yet? What? Maybe he never learns it, and no spoilers here. She looks happy to see him. He looks less certain. Dean creeps up and watches him talk. She flirts real hard with Sam. Sam introduces Dean. Love those crow's feet on Dean. Crow's feet are hella underrated. They rock. Men, women, whatever. I like them. Meg says she left Cali, but did meet Chad Michael Murray, which is kind of an inside joke in real life because Jared Padalecki's character feuded with CMM's character in Gilmore Girls. Look how little Jared was. He's so little. And his hair is even worse. Anyway, Meg insults Dean, says he treats Sam like luggage, clearly trying to pit the pair against each other. But Sam cuts her off. Dean pieces off, awkwardly. Sam gets her number, and her last name, Masters. The boys leave the bar. Dean's all pissy about what Meg said. Sam explains it was when they were fighting and denies that he's a luggage. Sam thinks there's something fishy going on because he happened to run into her in a bar right after a waitress went missing. And okay, he happens to be right, but that's kind of a bit of a stretch, isn't it? Whoa, you're telling me some drifter chick happened to be in a random bar? What? Again, he is right, but it's not that crazy of a coincidence.
Silly.
Anyway, Dean thinks it is a coincidence, which in this case is totally fair, and in this case is totally incorrect. But Sam tells him to see if there really is a Meg Masters from Andover, while Sam watches Meg. Dean's doing some research. Ooh, edgy sticker, Dean, you're so cool. He calls Sam and correctly predicts that he's lurking outside her apartment. Dean confirms she's real, even saw her photo. And he found out the symbol is Zoroastrian. Totally useless side note, but Zoroastrianism is the symbol I use when I create a religion in Civ 5. That'll be totally relatable to like 2 people. It's a sigil for a Deva, a savage Zoroastrian demon of darkness. In reality, Deva means wrong or false god, not demon of darkness, but we'll just add that to the growing list of silly things in this episode.
Silly.
Anyway, Deva generally have to be summoned, which means someone who really knows their stuff is controlling it. Sam goes back to watching Meg. At this point, having watched TV before, you probably expect him to see her getting dressed through the window or something, but come on, do you really think this show will be so cliche? Oh, okay, yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Woody.
And he's busted. She leaves the building. in an outfit that is not remotely suitable for rain. Also, her hair remains completely dry. Man, this episode is rough.
Silly.
Sam follows her into another building, gets in a rickety elevator, starts climbing it bafflingly. Like he's supposed to be following her. Does he really think she climbed up this thing?
Right, stop that. It's silly. Very silly indeed.
But of course, his dumb instincts turn out to be correct as he sees her performing a ritual and communicating through a goblet of blood. Also, it's revealed that she was surprised the boys were in town, so her being there had nothing to do with Sam, which is hilarious, but whatever.
Silly.
There's a weird extended shot of her blowing out the candles, totally pointless. Jared does a pretty poor job of acting like he's working hard to pull himself up, and he checks out the altar. It has a sigil, which really shouldn't be surprising at this point, but again, dumb episode. They meet up.
Dude, I gotta talk to you.
Jinx, personal Jinx! Hey, let me know your version of Jinx in the comments. Sam tells Dean that Meg was taking orders from someone who would be going to the warehouse soon. Dean reveals that the first 2 victims were born in Lawrence, Kansas, which is where the demon killed their mom. So maybe Meg's in league with that demon. Dean wants to interrogate her, but Sam doesn't want to tip her off. Damn, those are pretty eyes. Dean leaves a message for their dad about it, since he's on the hunt for that demon. Sam grabs a bunch of weapons, holy water, and exorcism rituals. They have a heart-to-heart, but they do it while loading their guns, so it's manly. Hooah! They're not nervous. Men aren't nervous.
No.
Sam talks about how he could go back to school if they actually caught the demon. Dean pretends he isn't crushed that Sam wants to leave, while Dean wants to keep hunting. Dean strikes a dramatic pose. He explains that the reason he got Sam was so he, Sam, and their dad could be a family again. Yeah, we kind of know, Dean. That was the theme of the whole season. Sam says they are family, but things will never be like they were. Dean says they could. Sam says he doesn't want them to be. He wants to go his own way once it's over. Oh, bad news, Sammy. This show is 15 seasons long and is not called Sam the Lawyer. Cut 2, the boys climbing up the warehouse. Jensen does a marginally better job of acting like he's straining, but not much. They sneak to the back of the room, they ready their guns, then...
Guys.
Oh, dang it, she knows. She starts speaking to them, and I really like how differently she talks now. It's not like cringy, super over-the-top evil like a lot of people do. It's just a bit more evil, a bit more confident. It's good. She says she was waiting for Sam. Then a freaky shadow thing attacks their shadows. I thought she looked like Peter Pan. They wake up. Now she's the one watching creepily. Dean calls her a bitch. Sam's face is all gashed up. But don't worry, he will never, ever, ever have a scar from any of this because he's got to stay pretty. Though he'd look really cool with that scar. Sam realizes that it was all a setup. The victims being from Lawrence, pretending she didn't know he was there the day before, everything was just to draw them in. But the trap wasn't for them. It was for their dad, who Dean called and told about the warehouse. Whoops, low-rise jeans. Meg talks about how the boys are their dad's weakness, how he lets his guard down with them, and he's in town. Also, she clarifies that the Davis are actually there. They aren't just shadow creatures, it's just that you can only see the shadows. Which is a neat bit of world building which will be entirely trashed by the end of the episode. Stay tuned. They ask why she's doing this. She says it's out of loyalty and love. Then she crawls over to Sam, all sexy-like. More nice face lines. Damn, she's hot here. Sam tries to distract her so Dean can escape, but she hears Dean, then crawls back to Sam. But it turns out he had a knife too. He headbutts her, turns the altar over, releasing the Devas who attacked Meg and chuck her out of the window. Why didn't they just rip her heart out? Don't ask.
Silly.
Nice hip bones though, hip bones rock. The boys return to the motel and find Daddy! And I forget if I mentioned this earlier, but holy hell, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is such a perfect casting for Dean's dad, it's crazy. He even has Dean in his name. Aside from being only 12 years older than him. He was a young dad. Dean tells him it was a trap. He says he kind of figured, but luckily they beat Meg just before he arrived. Dad wants to kill the demon, not just send it back to hell. Sam offers to help, but again, Dad says no. He goes,
Try to understand.
And I'm like, well, it's kind of hard to understand when you don't explain anything. You're not keeping them safe by keeping them at a distance. Clearly, they're still running into dangerous stuff, including the lackeys of the demon. Just stay with them. Sorry, I know I'm a broken record. It just, it bugs me.
Silly.
On the bright side, Dad kinda sorta apologizes by implication, which is good enough for Sam, and they hug and cry manly tears. Then Dad is yoinked! The Davis are still here! Okay, I legit forgot this happened. I know there were like 5 minutes left, but I figured it would all be heart-to-heart stuff. This actually kind of saved the episode for me. Meg's outside. Turns out the altar wasn't actually the thing keeping the Davis in check. It was all a ruse, which is why they only dragged her out the window.
What a twist!
I usually use that clip sarcastically, but unironically. What a twist. Take one off the silly moment count.
Not silly.
Oh, also the one where it turned out to be a coincidence because it didn't actually Turned out to be a coincidence.
Not silly.
The Devas are tearing the crap out of Daddy, so Sam lights some sort of flare thing to counter the shadow demons and they escape. Now, as I alluded to earlier, I don't think it makes any sense that they were defeated by a flare if they actually do exist. Like, I get it if they were just the shadows, but she specifically said they actually exist in the room, all you can see is the shadows, so why does a flare defeat them? Ugh. Put that silly moment count back up one.
Silly.
The boys get Daddy to the car. I don't know what happened to Meg, but ignore it. Dean tells her dad he can't come because they almost got him killed. But like, no, you almost got him killed because he was apart from you, and therefore you were able to be used as bait. And then you saved him. Clearly, Dean inherited his dad's poor logic.
Silly.
Sam tries to protest, but eventually gives in. Come on, man, you want to be a lawyer, argue better. Anyway, Dad drives off, and so do the boys. Then Meg finally walks up. Seriously, how did it take her 3 full minutes to get there? Whatever.
Silly.
And that's the episode. It was cool seeing their dad, and Meg was really great, but there were just so many annoying little issues in this one. If it wasn't for the twist at the end, the episode would be getting like a 6, and it'd be lucky to get that. But I'll be damned if they didn't make up a lot of ground with the twist at the end, which I didn't see coming despite having seen this episode a good 6 times. Still not a great episode. There were a bunch of annoying things, and the flare shouldn't defeat demons if they aren't just shadows, but, you know, the twist helps. I'll bump the 6 up to a 7. But hey, if you have a good explanation for some of the nits I picked, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll change my opinion. And if you haven't already, please do give the video a thumbs up. It really does help. But I know people tend to click away at the end of the video, so I won't keep you. Until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and stay smiling.